Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Aladdin's Castle here, and today I'm just gonna go straight into it. What deck should you play for Infinity Weekend, which is coming up this weekend? In a couple days, we'll be having our first huge tournament going down at all your locals. Ravensburger decided to hand out the Whole New World promo, non-foil version for a specific event that is supposed to be held this Friday, this weekend, and there's a bunch of decks that you could play because of Infinity format, and there is a reason why you should play this particular deck, and I'm just gonna go and say it. Emerald Amethyst tempo. Before we get into that though, we have to understand the meta and why I'm so excited to bring this deck. Not only is it my favorite deck to play, and that I've had a lot of success with in the past, but I believe it also has a lot of answers for all the meta decks that you will see. So first off, overall kind of overview of the meta, you're going to see three main big color combos, and that is Ruby Sapphire, Amber Steel, and Blue Steel. There's going to be different variations of it, of course. You have the control versions, you have items, both Ruby Sapphire and Blue Steel. And then in Ruby Sapphire, you have like the DKP version, plays a little bit more like locations and lower to the ground, not so much removal. And in Blue Steel, outside of the items, you have things like Kiwi that could be very aggressive. And in Amber Steel, you have both songs and aggro. And there are a bunch of cards that kind of sprinkle in that's added from Whispers in the Well and Fabled that also kind of boost up all these decks. So it's a crazy format, just kind of getting the overview of things. But these color combinations don't really change. They just kind of put their power level above like the rest of it. So those are the three main ones. But then you'll see, of course, other decks being represented like Emerald Steel Discard. You'll see Chernadogs, you'll see Blurple, Purple Steel, Ruby Amethyst, all the good stuff. So there's plenty of those going around. There's actually one deck that I do believe that will be very good against all these decks, or at least has a good matchup. And again, that is Emerald Amethyst tempo. So when you're looking at the overall view of your meta, you got two heavy control decks. You got Ruby Sapphire items and control, and Blue Steel items. Then you got really also common Hyper Aggro deck in Amber Steel, and a semi-popular Blue Steel Kiwi build. Of course, the generalized meta is going to be you play Hyper Aggro, but you lose to mid-range. You play control, you lose to aggro. So is there a deck that kind of goes in between? And yes, if you're comfortable playing a tempo deck that could deal with aggro and also push enough lore early, this is the deck for you. If you liked the bounce package and winning off of GOAT, play this deck. If you like making blue players sweat with a go-go trap, definitely play this deck. This is the best overall deck to deal with the broken meta of blue decks or Amber Steel aggro. Of course, it all comes down to like your local meta and how well you know your players. Some are a little bit more casual, and you'll kind of see that more representation of other decks. But if you got like a super sweaty meta with a bunch of competitors, this could be the deck that could help facilitate you and fight back against all those other decks. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. So the one drops, we are running the classic 4 purple Chernabog's Followers. Chernabog's Followers is a 2/1. Whenever this character quests, you may banish this to draw a card. I like that it's 2 strength over something like Brooms, which could also trade in early against some of the 2 health characters. It could draw cards, and it does have a small synergy with another card in my list, which I'll get to, which is also a really important card in the deck. Next is 4 Cursed Merfolk. Merfolk, yes, could be outed to like some of the songs, but against the slow blue decks, you got to open up Merfolk against like blue-red. You need the constant lore pressure early on. They can open up Tipo, yes, but they won't be drawing as much unless they have their Popsicle Hiram combo. And there are games where blue-red just misses their draw, or they miss their ramp, and they have to pass on challenging into this. And you're just going to gain 2, 4, 6 lore early on by dumping a Cursed Merfolk. It's very similar to dumping 3 Daisies on turn 1. It doesn't have the resilience of the willpower, but it's very strong early, especially against those blue decks. And then the newest edition of the deck of green-purple is going to be Webby. Webby Vanderquack came out this set from Whispers in the Well. I like her over Brooms because with all the blue decks running around, a warded turn 2 Webby that could probably trigger ramping your ink a few times is really strong. Unless you're going against like something like Amethyst that could Fox rush you, this is your best card against the blue matchups, because you play Webby in turn 1, then you play turn 2, you could shift it, and if you're on the draw, like they're going to be rampant on turn 2 anyways, and you're going to be questing with this. And there's very little cards that blue could play early on that could out a 2/4 Webby when it shifts, and especially when it's warded, so it's really, really strong. Of course, certain matchups you won't use it, but because you're going to expect a lot of blue steel and blue red in the meta, this just makes so much sense in the deck, and it works really well. A lot of good synergy for this. All right, on to the 2-cost cards. I run 4 Ursulas. Ursula, I think, is super strong in this format versus the current core constructed format where there's not so many songs. Like Steel Song is one of the best decks in the game for Infinity, and this will be your MVP against that matchup, and you want to hard mulligan for it. If they open up with like a 1-drop Cindy, basically you just don't play a 1-drop because they'll just gain value with the Storm Rage on in their hand. The real play is to basically ink pass, then play the Ursula, take out their song. But if they open up Daisy, then you could do like a 1-drop, Ursula or Snake, the 1-drop after you quest, and then turn 3 you could Fox or Crab to take out the Daisy. So there's a couple play lines that you could play, especially when you play against Steel Song. You want to be very careful. Do not play a 1-drop because all your 1-drops have low health. If you're playing something like an Olaf, which I think is okay, that could survive a storm early on, but it's an okay card. It's really just for the Amber Steel matchup, but you could always put it in there if you expect a lot of Steel Song. Ursula, I think, is super powerful, helps get rid of Be Prepared. So many songs in the format, all the Steel Songs, Strength, Zeus. It's just really, really powerful, and you need Ursula now more than ever in this format as well. Okay, on to one of my favorite cards in the game, and that is Go Tamago. You play her at 4, you need her at 4. She's my favorite card in this format. One of the main reasons I was able to beat Blue Red or Blue Steel was because of the existence of Go. One of Blue's key cards and top end cards consist of Hiram and Tamatoas. These are all Go traps. If they leave any of these exerted, and you have like a card like Crab or Fox or Goat out, you could deal 4, 5, 6 damage on them, on those characters, and go for game. I won so many games because of that. Or you go bounce Snake Go. You can even play double Go more consistently because of a card that Webby exists. It gives you so much more chances to ramp, and that gives you more ink that you could play double Go-Go's with. Because sometimes you just fall short of being able to double Go somebody in the same turn, and because Webby now exists, you could just kind of help that with that matchup. So if you are going against a blue deck, watch out for like those 6-drop Tamatoas. Those have 5 health, so you could crash your Goat into a Tamatoa, gain a lure, and then you just Go them. So like Go is so good against the slower control matchups because now your opponent has to worry about being Go-Go'd, and that is my favorite thing to do against all those blue decks. Then the last 3 2-drops are Snake. Snake is part of the bounce package. You can just bounce everything that you need. There's so many cards in here that give you different effects during certain situations of the game. Snake, bounce, Go, you guys already know from back in the day. Onto the 3-cost stuff, onto the more bounce package. Again, just like Snake, you bounce whatever you need to. Takes out a Daisy, takes out locations. The 4 health with a rush is so strong, and it's one of Purple's best cards in the game that exists, and you just need Fox in those certain matchups. So I would not run less than 4 Foxes. Another great card that Purple has is access to the Crab. Crab is such a strong card. When you play this character and when he leaves play, chosen character gains Challenger +3 this turn. Again, just Crab plus a Fox or Go can take out like a Queen's Castle or help trade with like a much larger character. Like there's cards like Cinderella 7-drop that has resist +2 with 5 health, so you need 7 strength to take her out, and you'll have that with Crab plus Fox or Crab plus Goat. So that kind of combo you need to out certain large threats that are just sticky basically. But Crab bounce when it leaves play, and when you play it, +3 strength. Also the Webby 1-drop has +1 strength, which also goes a long way too as well. More 3-cost cards. Another cool card that has been cycled out of core constructed is Kit Cloudkicker. We have a mini version in Finnick, but this is, I think, a really, really strong card too. When you play this character, you may return chosen opposing character with 2 strength or less to the player's hand. So back in the day, this used to kind of take the tempo back. If you were like on the draw and you needed ways to catch up to your opponent, you would just play this to get rid of like a 2-lore quester or something really annoying, a piglet. There's many cards in the game like Hiram, Ariel, Genie, even Emerald Diablo Shift. Those are all very powerful cards. Yes, you're giving them back cards or you know, ink, but the point is to take over the tempo back to your side, and now they have to respond to you and your board state. The stats are weak, yes, but you could always use them as like a singer. So he's a great utility card. You could cut it to 3 if you prefer, but I like him a lot because there's so many powerful cards with 2 strength, like I just mentioned, that you could kind of bounce back so that you could buy your turn to kind of recover your board as well. All right, onto the Spice, which I always had in this deck in my build. I always had at least two Lyle Tiberius Rourke. He is from set 3. This card is so good. It gives a character reckless during the next turn, and not only is this great against the hyper aggro cards like Nala or Piglet, but against like the blue meta. It stops cards like Hiram and Tamatoa from triggering their effects. This hits a lot of the meta relevant cards that do broken things when they quest, and on top of reckless, his bottom effect says whenever one of your other characters is banished, each opponent loses a lore. And this doesn't have to be on your turn, on your opponent's turn. You could use it on yours. Remember when I mentioned earlier why I like Chernobog's followers over brooms? And that's because you could banish followers to draw. Then that triggers Lyle's ability to gain a lore when my other characters are banished. So when you're playing against blue-red, you can have a decent board state with Lyle out, and when they B-prep it, it triggers Lyle for each of your other characters. So they have to out Lyle first, otherwise they'll be losing like 5 lore just because they used the B-prep. So that's one of the ways to punish blue-red specifically, because if they B-prep you and you have Lyle out, they're gonna have to get rid of Lyle first. So that buys you more time to kind of be aggressive and quest out. So I like him a lot. A lot of my opponents didn't like when I played Lyle every single time because they're like, that's annoying, I got to get rid of it. And Lyle is super strong because of both reckless and the anti-lore that your opponent has to deal with. All right, and then the last, I think the only non-character card that I run in the deck are Friends on the Other Side. Friends on the Other Side, can't really explain too much. Best card draw in the format, Pot of Greed. Sing, draw 2, broken. I don't really have anything to explain. Between this and Rabbit and Demona, you should be able to draw a decent amount and keep up your hand size. That's why I did opt for like a library. You could play a library in here. It's good against like the blue-red matchups, the slower matchups, but I opted for just some of the singers and stuff. Okay, moving on to the 4-cost cards. We have, of course, staple, 4 goats, and another staple, which is maybe not staple numbers, but I maximized it, is 4 rabbits. Both are really important. There's so many games where people have played this game for so long and they know goats just wins you game. Goat bounce, and sometimes you just win off of that late in game. You just need 4 or 5 lore and goat will get you there, and there's no other way around this effect, because when you play this character and when he leaves play, gain a lore. Can't avoid it. Similar effect to rabbit, it just draws a card. I noticed in the blue-red matchups, sometimes you just don't have enough aggro in the beginning, and you'll have to go late game, and sometimes your late game doesn't look as good as blue-red, and that's why you have to go trap them. But if you keep up with some of the resources, like bouncing rabbit, you might be able to have a chance to put some characters on board, quest a little bit, they B-pepper you, do the same thing, have rabbit, draw some cards, put some characters on board, and then they B-pepper you again. So it's like you're slowly climbing, but you can't do that against blue-red unless you have card draw and resources. And rabbit will just get you there. So there are many games where I just rabbit every turn, and you could draw as many cards, not as many cards as blue-red, but you could still draw a lot of cards to keep up. Moving on, Webbies. I run 3, you could run 4, you could test it out. But it's really good against the blue matchup specifically, so if you happen to open up a Webby and you want a hard mulligan to try to find that on the draw, then Webby is strong. Ward 2/4, quest for 2, it's just very powerful. And they didn't have that access to this card back in the day. Now that you have this card, which could help you ramp against blue decks, this just makes this deck way much better. So that is very strong. Next is a 5-cost, only 5 costs I run, which is a tech card. It is Cricky. Cricky is really good against high power will characters. Like I said, with the resist stuff going around with Cinderella, it's good against locations like McDuck Manor that has 8 willpower. And it's just a solid static character that could quest for 3. It's another big threat. You don't really have high questing power in this deck, so to say. Not too many 2 questing lore characters, but you get a lot of that lore just from like Goat Bounce and stuff, and questing with merfolks early on. Cricky just helps you be very aggressive. It helps you takes out some resources on your opponent's side, and puts a little bit of clock if they can't get rid of this on their crackback. So it is super powerful. I like Cricky a lot, and I kind of wish we had it back in the meta. All right, rounding off the 6 drops here, we have John Silver. John Silver, all I gotta say is Reckless. I think Reckless is very, very good in this format, in Infinity specifically, because this is a top-end card that prevents the most important characters from questing. Yes, it's really good against aggro, but more likely you'll have a very small clock window to play John Silver that early. You're gonna have to keep bouncing with foxes and kick Cloudkickers and crabs to deal with aggro. But if you're able to pass till turn 6, turn 7, John Silver is just going to seal you the game against aggro. They're going to be challenging with their Nalas and their Piglets, and they're not going to be able to close out the game during that time. But when this card really shines is against blue, against Tamatoa, against Hiram. They have to quest. They have to gain value from questing. So they cannot pop that item off Hiram because of Reckless. They cannot quest with 6-drop Tamatoa to play a item for free, so they can't play that dime that's in their hand. They're going to have to hardcast it instead. There's a lot of little things that this ability could affect, and those are like the major ones. So being able to give Reckless to those specific meta characters is very powerful. And with the 5 strength, it also helps with the go-go trap. So if they're going to want to get rid of this with like their other big character, now they're going to have to try to play around it a little bit and lose their character in return. Otherwise, they get go-go'd for 5. And then to finalize the deck, I ran 2 Demonas. Demona is another new card from Whispers. It's really good in this format for core constructed, but it could have a lot of implications in this format. It's a tech card against decks that don't like to turn necessarily sideways, like dogs or even purple steel. It's a nice way to exert all of them, and then you could just challenge with your characters. Maybe you have a Lyle out at the same time. Some of your characters get banished because of challenging their characters, but you gain lore, or with a goat, or you lose, or you make your opponent lose lore because of Lyle. So you could just really break a stalemate board state that just putting out characters and not questing. It's a great go-go trap for Tamatoa, because if they're trying to play around like your go-go, you could just say Demona, exert your big Tamatoa, go-go or crash whatever card that you need, like a goat, and then go-go for game. And also it refills your hand. Like you do draw a decent amount, and obviously you don't want to play this against hyper aggro decks like Kiwi or even Amber Steel, but against those slower matchups, they do draw a decent amount, especially with all the items that they play, and they're most likely not going to get the value out of Demona's draw 3. And sometimes that's all you need, is to be able to draw 3. Late game, you're probably playing 2 cards at a time, but it just digs your deck that much deeper for like your closers, which is like Go-Go's and Goat Bounce and stuff. But yeah, that is basically the deck. I hope I kind of gave some good reasonings to play this color. Like I said, I think it has a little bit of everything. It has some early questing pressure with Cursed Merfolk and Goats. It has late game stuff with Reckless, and they can deal with certain characters. It has probably one of the best closers in the game, which is Go-Go in this format against those blue decks. And it could draw. Like, it has a little bit of everything. Doesn't have much. This version doesn't have much to deal with, like evasives and whatnot. So I mean, if depending on what your meta plays, and if you think everyone's gonna be playing like a purple steel or like a purple ruby amethyst meta with a lot of evasives, then you could kind of cater towards it. But there are cards that I don't think are really good. I think Genie is maybe a little bit too slow. It gets outed to like Sisu. I think Iago is also kind of a trap card in this format because of songs. They exist, and there's so many more songs that people would sing and target Iago. So I mean, I didn't go the evasive route, but it is a very powerful deck if your opponent can't respond to it. But there's cards like in here like kits and reckless cards that could kind of get around that. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. There are a bunch of cards that are in the format with the thousands of cards that they have released that could fit into this archetype, but I think this is a very good starting point for those who are interested in playing green-purple, aka inspired by artifacts from back in the day. I'm pretty sure he's going to probably try this out in the Infinity events, but I think this is a very powerful deck, and I hope you guys take this to at least one of your events for the weekend, and more importantly, just yeah, we all get a whole new promo for participation, so don't take this event too seriously. I know some people get discouraged with like events like even set champs or higher level events, but this event you should have some fun. Even though people are going to play some toxic decks, people are going to discard your hand, people are going to be drawing like 30 cards, they're going to remove your whole board because of beat prep, but kind of take it more of an enjoyment, kind of reminisce the good old times when we had like this large card pool, playing some of your favorite cards, Rapunzel, Hiram, Diablo. Like there's so many cards in here that kind of brings me back to the beginning of the game and how I enjoyed it a lot too. And just take that to your advantage, just soak it all in, have a good time. You know, if they are playing something toxic, just laugh it off, because we can't play this officially until like Indianapolis. So don't take it too serious, have some fun, and I hope you guys really enjoy this deck. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.